The Cursed Town, Devon. I took a job in a tiny town, so rural that you may not even find this place on the map. The job was simple, the town even simpler. There were no malls, no city lights, just fields and wood stretching as far as my eyes could see. I rented a small house on the outskirts. It had creaky floors and a constant draft that made the air chilly. I didn't mind, though. The quiet appealed to me, at least in the beginning. The trouble started with a letter. Plain, white, and without a return address. It arrived one gloomy Tuesday. I opened it to find nothing inside, just emptiness. I dismissed it as a prank, a weird welcome to the town, and tossed it aside. Days went by, and another letter showed up at my door. This time, the envelope was just full of darkness, no words, just a deep blackness. I started wondering who in this lonely place might be playing strange tricks on me. Was it a neighbor, trying to spook the new person in town? But the letters didn't stop. What started as a weekly thing turned into every few days, and soon, it was happening every single day. At first, they were empty, just empty pages looking back at me. It seemed odd, but wasn't really creepy. Then, words started showing up on those once empty pages. The ink looked fresh, like someone had just written it moments before I opened each letter. The messages were warnings, talking about things that hadn't even happened yet.
Leave before it's too late.
One letter urged.
The shadows are watching.
I chuckled, thinking the isolation was messing with my head. However, the warnings got more detailed, predicting things with an eerie accuracy. It wasn't long before my skepticism turned into a cold, creeping fear. One afternoon, I received a letter that got my heart racing. It described a car accident on the winding road leading out of town. The details matched the make and color of my car. Wildly shocked, I decided to stay home that day, convincing myself that the letter was just a bizarre coincidence. As evening fell, I heard the distant screech of tires and a sickening crash. I rushed to the window, heart pounding, only to see the flashing lights of emergency vehicles on the road. The accident had happened just as the letter described. That's when the true horror settled in. The letters weren't just warnings, they were horrifying glimpses into the future. I found myself feeling trapped, as if someone or something knew everything that was going to happen to me. The letters just kept coming, more and more, piling up in my mailbox like an unstoppable wave. Each letter seemed to be a messenger of doom, talking about accidents, illnesses, and terrible tragedies that hadn't happened yet. No matter how hard I tried to stay away from the things the letters warned about, they always stayed ahead of me. It was like the town itself was playing a dark game, making sure I couldn't escape the frightening events they predicted. The more I tried to resist, the more it felt like I was being pulled into a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. The letters, like silent whispers, continued to shape the terrifying path of my life in this cursed town. One night, after receiving a particularly ominous letter, I heard a soft whisper in the dark corners of my room. It was a voice, low and guttural, speaking words.
You can't escape fate.
It hissed. My eyes widened, and I quickly turned on the lights, searching the room for any sign of someone else. But there was nothing. I had to convince myself it was just my imagination, the loneliness of this small town playing tricks on my mind. The nightmares became more intense, haunting me every night with visions of darkness and sadness. I kept seeing myself stuck in a never-ending cycle of the tragedies the letters had warned me about. No matter how much I tried to change things, no matter what I did, it felt like I was trapped in a scary loop, unable to escape the horrible things that were supposed to happen. Feeling lost and scared, I decided to talk to the people in the town, hoping they could give me some answers. But when I approached them, they wouldn't meet my eyes. Instead, they looked at me with a strange mix of pity and fear. It was like they knew something important that I didn't, something that added to the mystery and horror surrounding the letters and the strange events in the town. One day, an old man, all wrinkled, walked up to me in the town square. His eyes looked like they knew a lot, and he spoke quietly, telling me about a long-lasting curse troubling the town. According to him, the letters were how the town shared the weight of a dark prediction. He leaned in and spoke in a soft voice, as if sharing a secret. He described the curse that had lingered over the town for generations. The letters, he said, were the mysterious messengers carrying the heavy burden of a dark prophecy. I felt my stomach churned as I listened. His warning kept echoing in my thoughts as I tried to grasp the gravity of the curse.
They know when it's your time.
He whispered, his gaze serious.
No one has ever escaped it.
As the old man retreated, I realized something. I was just another pawn in this sick game, a newcomer who knew nothing. Feeling like I had to escape from whatever was happening, I packed my bags and headed towards the edge of town. But the letters kept showing up, even when I tried to run away from the fate that stuck to me like glue. The road seemed to go on forever, and I kept seeing the same landmarks again and again. Was I stuck in a never-ending circle? It seemed like the town itself was dead set on keeping me from getting away. The more I tried to leave, the more it felt like the town had its grip on me, refusing to let go. Feeling lost and not knowing what to do, I decided to burn the letters, thinking it might break the strange connection. I watched the fire eat up the pages, but the whispers didn't stop. The shadows in the room got darker, and a cold wind softly said the names of the bad things that were going to happen. Standing there with the burning letters, a sense of hopelessness overwhelmed me. Suddenly, out of the smoke, a figure appeared. It was like a dark shadow with glowing red eyes that looked unreal. The figure started talking, and it felt like the voice was coming from another dimension.
You can't escape what's written.
And just like that, it dissolved into the night. Feeling defeated and crushed, I returned to my house. Although the letters had finally stopped, I felt a heavy sense of impending doom still hung in the air. I gave up, and now, my life is being controlled like a puppet in a wretched town. I'm lost, unsure of what to do next, so I'm writing this to share my story with the hope that someone out there might have answers or understanding. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and let us know about your own experiences.